All right. Finally coming back with this part two. Giving a great shout out to the YouTube family and everybody. Hope y'all are still doing well. How do we get back the love that we once had? Part two. As y'all saw me in the other video, I had cut it off with to be continued because there's so much to say in that video. And y'all oftentimes hear me say it's only God, catch this, that can take two, I didn't say perfect, imperfect people, put them together because we different by day and night. And only God can take two imperfect people with all their flaws and past and everything that has happened, put them together and keep them together. But the sad thing is a lot of people trying to make some work with somebody they know damn well they don't have no business being with, and spend years and years and years wasting life on foolishness. And how do you get it back? It's sad that it get lost in the first place. But the way you get it back is with God. I left in other videos saying, see, I believe in that old school type love. Because whatever, you remember when you was growing up, the old school people would always tell you, whatever fellas, they would tell us whatever you did to get that woman, that's what you got to do to keep that woman. But the sad thing is a lot of times all you can do is never enough because some women are never satisfied. Some men are never satisfied. How do we get back the love that we once lost? You got to put in some work. And the sad thing is, in most relationships nowadays, you got the women pushing harder than the men. You rarely see a situation where it's the man trying to keep it together. Now, there's some being done like that, but the majority, 9 times out of 10, it's the woman holding on the hardest. And I was saying in the video, how is it year after year after year you grow further away from each other? And I also said sometimes being happy means you got to leave that person alone. But you honestly got people right now that's been sitting up with each other very unhappy years and years and years and gonna continue to do it. And as I was thinking about my boy Sho Williams, I thought about his best friend that was murdered by her own husband because he was one of those insecure type dudes. And to take it out on a woman, and there's so many women being killed, murdered every day behind this type of stuff. And I always say, how much do you value yourself? So that's not love if somebody got to lie to you, beat on you. And how do you get it back if God put you together? Now, this is the part I like to say. If God put you together, no man, no woman should be able to break up your marriage. See, let me go back to the garden, Sister Lisa. Hope you and Big Mike are doing well. Love y'all. I always think about you when I say, let's go back to the garden. Adam didn't have a choice. God said everything that he made was good. See, Adam wasn't out there picking who his wife was going to be. In spite of their disobedience, we know what happened with the sin, but God created Eve. He knew his wife. And if things would have never went the way they went, how would they would have been? And see, God knows all things. See, my little bitty mind, it can't get that far to outthink God. I have common sense to know that I don't know it all. And I don't think I do. And I love to learn. See, we can learn a lot from women, fellas. They should have done taught us. And women can learn a lot from men. But we got the old who's supposed to have the wisdom and teaching creeping. with the ones. Now we got sugar daddies and sugar mamas. Some of these men are old enough to be some of these women granddaddies, these young women. And they not teaching them. They trying to get in their draws. And I'm just being real. And spending their whole check on them. I done kind of went a little different in this video, but I'm tying it in all together because I had to take it there to bring it back to this point I'm trying to make about this being together. That's why I taught on being unequally yoked. A lot of people tied it in with just marriage. But when you break that down and look at it closely in the Bible, that's past marriage. Unequally yoked is in everything that you do. You hanging with so-called friends. And a lot of people can't get back their love because they just plain don't want it. They don't want to get it back. A lot of people thinking, well, it's better on this side. It's better on that side. And I always tell people that I would rather work it out with the one that I notice already messed up with her little flaws and ain't perfect than to start back over again and grab a whole set of new problems. So the question is, how bad do you want it? Because you can't make grown folks do nothing. Most folks can't even make their children do nothing nowadays. But you can't make somebody love you. You'll waste your lifetime trying to be with somebody who really don't want to be with you. That's why I think about the old school love. I like to call it old school love. They held on. Some of them gave up now, but the majority of them, they held on. They had a lot of love. And they forgave each other. That's the problem with us nowadays. We claim to be Christians, but walk around with an unforgiving heart. I used to tell my ex all the time, you can make it in anything that you do. We can make it. But the question is, but the thing is that you got to give up some on both sides. A lot of people don't like when I say that. But you do in so many ways. You are giving up, but you should be giving up to gain, if that makes sense. Because she is not like you, and you are not like her. It's already male, female. And most people I know that's together right now, they can't even stay in the same room together. They just done lost it all. And some are just not trying to get it back. So to end this part 2, how do you get it back also? Sometimes you get it back by leaving each other alone. See, that might not make sense to somebody. Because I can love you, but I'm not in love with you. And when you try to love the wrong person, could cost you your life. Like my boy Show, his best friend ain't around no more. And he said if he could have just did something else, and that man, let me say it again, her husband took her life. Then he turned around, took his own life. The Bible teaches us that you love your wife as Christ loved the church. The Bible teaches us that a man that findeth a wife findeth a good thing, and that God shows favor on that. The Bible teaches us that a man will leave his mother and father to cleave to his wife. That shows you how important your wife is. But as I stated in the other video, part 1, if you don't love this first, self, first of all, God, but if you don't love yourself, how can you love anybody else? How can you treat them right when you don't even love yourself? So how do you get back the love you once had? It's only God that can keep you in perfect peace. It's only God that can give you that joy in the midst of your storms, because this is what's wrong with a lot of people. I tried to end, but let me just say this also. What's wrong with a lot of people is that they think they are not going to go through nothing, for better or for worse. When the worst part kicks in, because God already knew it was going to be worse. When the worst part kick in, that's when most people are going to throw the towel in. When they take their little vows in their marriage, they really be saying yes, but they really be saying no at the same time. Because when the for worse hits, most people get divorced. So with that being said, God bless you. God keep you. Peace.